On Monday, we heard about some happy winners for the 1965 TT lottery draw, but in 1982, the collapse of the Savings and Investment Bank, the SIB, led to some very unhappy people. These were in the days before the Depositors Compensation Scheme, but SIB led to the introduction of that scheme and a very close look at the Manx financial setup. Manx Radio was at a meeting of some unhappy depositors as the big losses became evident.
If the public puts its money with the Isle of Man, that's properly licensed by the Isle of Man government, it expects the Isle of Man government to operate tight and stringent controls on all its banks in the Isle of Man, all 49 of them, not just 48 of them. And how can it possibly license a bank without knowing the shareholders? It didn't even know who the shareholders was, never mind anything else. And can you believe the Isle of Man government ever again, and trust the Isle of Man government ever again? If they won't accept responsibility, they took on face value its assets. Did they ever check its liabilities? Did they check who the shareholders were? Did the public know that? And it licensed the bank willy-nilly?
I'm Mr. Potts, I'm the leader of the pressure group. I think that we should definitely have a public inquiry, because we can then find out what has gone wrong, who's responsible, where we have redress. I have a strong feeling that the government don't want this to happen, because it could involve the previous finance minister and also the one at the moment, because they should have known the banking guidelines. They are the people that, in the first place, brought out the banking guidelines, but they didn't bother to implement them.
What about future banking and people who already have money deposited here?
Well, that's easy afterwards, isn't it, future banking, because if they haven't learned their lesson now, that it's in chaos, they never will. This is a marvellous opportunity at our expense to put everything right.
Can we ask you what the petition's for?
It's on behalf of the depositors, this particular petition, and it's just for a public inquiry, into exactly what's happened and why it's happened.